Berit meneum fritjade, onmeelnemen fritfremen, liengich menetom melukan, meoneun lange fenen nawe, unoveo, tunoveo, tunoveo, tisneal, unoveo, tunoveo, tunoveo, tisneal.
Hey, this is Dancing Rabbit, and welcome to another weekend edition of Pagan Perspective. This for September 8th. And this week's question is, might have already been a covered topic, but I've been thinking a lot recently about general media portrayal of witches and witchcraft, especially when it comes to children. How does this affect you in your daily life? I am an au pair, and at the moment, so I walked my host child from the nursery today, and somehow we ended up discussing Halloween, and she spontaneously asks me, witches are bad, aren't they? Well, I think this may be one of my shorter videos, because to answer your question directly, how does it affect me in my personal life? Well, I don't think that it does. Now, I can really understand how it would have kind of taken you aback to be walking along, talking with your young charge, and have them ask you a question like that, or assume that witches are bad. But I haven't been around any children or young children in a long time who have asked a question like that. Now, as far as the popular media, I'm not really affected by that so much either. A lot of the portrayals of witches recently, whether it's Harry Potter or practical magic or something like that, has been fairly positive. I mean, it hasn't been the classic fairy tale of the evil witch. It's been, fairly either humorous or fairly positive witches, or witches that could be either good witches or bad witches, sort of like the Wizard of Oz. I mean, the evil witch of the West was pretty classic Halloween evil witch stuff, but then there was Glinda, and she was kind of fairy princess. So again, to answer your question, it really hasn't affected me much at all. Now, what does occasionally affect me, particularly in my dealings with younger people, is not so much the media image of witches, but the fundamentalist Christian teaching on witches, witchcraft, or really anything that is different from their particular flavor, their particular brand of Christianity. That as far as Halloween, there have been schools that I've worked at that we were told we do not celebrate Halloween. Now, not that I was planning on casting a Samhain circle or anything, but pumpkins and black cats and little children Halloween songs, I think, are pretty harmless, as is trick or treat, assuming that you're in a fairly good neighborhood that's supervised and all. So I've been really more affected by that sort of thing than by kids who watched a cartoon or a show on television or surfed the internet and picked up the notion that witches are bad, aren't they? Also, I don't usually describe myself as a witch. I mean, I'm a person who uses magic, so I guess I am a witch. But I don't usually call myself that, mainly because of all the negative connotations that are connected with it. If I call myself anything, it might be a pagan or a neo-pagan if the person wants to get technical, perhaps neo-Wiccan, since I probably borrow more from that than anything else. But, again, I don't know that my answer to your question has been all that helpful, because I haven't been particularly affected in way that you were affected, but I can certainly understand that. And, you know, if I were you, and I think you'd already figured this out, I just wouldn't say much, but I wouldn't get my feelings terribly hurt or be really worried about it either. Oh, before I go, I did want to give a little explanation about that rather different intro. I usually try to pick intros and music that has something to do with the topic, and this one really didn't. What you heard at the beginning is called Anglo-Saxon blessing chant. It is a chant to Thunor, which is sort of Saxon for Thor, and the chant is used when blessing or casting a protecting spell around a particular area, maybe a home. I used it several Sabbaths ago when I did a blot or a Norse ritual in honor of Thunor, of Thor. So I generally do it in modern English, but the website also had it in original Old English, so I thought that might be, or at least sound a little more powerful. And so that's the explanation of that. Hope you liked it. Sorry if you didn't. So I'm going to close this video and get ready to make the rest of this month's, because I've been really busy this month and I definitely don't want to get behind on the videos. So, till next week, Dancing Rabbit, peace.